Hi! So today I'm going to be telling you about my homebrew, home-built DIY portable painting briefcase. So this thing I built almost from scratch. It's made out of one of those old like child art kits that have like really shitty pastels, colored pencils, markers, paints, everything in it for really cheap. The base is one of those. It is wooden though. I know some of the newer cases can be like kind of fabric-y material with like the zipper around it. This is an old one that like my mom dug out of my grandma's house. So if you can find like a wooden exterior briefcase, you're golden. And the next thing I did from there was, after ripping out literally everything, there was some glue in it, the wood was really cheap so it came up a little bit, was I sanded the rough parts, and then I took some old paint stirring sticks just from like Home Depot that you could get for like free probably at any hardware store, and I measured them to length and cut them to create my own dividers within the briefcase. So the way that I measured it was so that I could have a squarish section where I can tape in my painting, tape in / secure, and then I would have a section for storing my paints themselves, and then a section for my liquids. And if you're working with oil paint, which I am, it is so difficult to like transport all of your material everywhere, especially if you want to work plein air. There's just like too many bottles, things get so messy and they spill. It's like a total nightmare. So what I do is I found these, or actually my brother found for me upon request, these little tiny jars. They're about that big, that wide, and they're supposed to be for like canning or something, but they're really, really like watertight. I have been using this briefcase I built for not ever, but like the past couple months, and it's never spilled. Like you just secure it really tight, twisting it, and the liquids don't fall, like seep out. So I just put a little bit of mineral spirits, a little bit of my oil, and then a little bit of soapy water in each of my vials. And so it's really easy for me to paint and clean my brushes when I'm on the go. So after I'm done cutting the paint sticks and measuring, cutting, I secure them into the briefcase with a little bit of wood glue. I used so little that it dried within like an hour or two. I know that wood glue, you're supposed to wait like 12 to 24 hours for it to dry, but with the amount that I put on and just like a heavy candle on top of like the corner joints, it was totally fine. And so once those both dried so that my paints wouldn't be flopping around touching my painting and my vials wouldn't be moving around clanking into each other, potentially breaking, then I sanded down just the edges of the paint stirrers that were kind of elevated beyond the depth of the briefcase. I just sanded those corners around because I didn't want to be poking myself at all, and I wanted like a really smooth finished look. So after that, I just blew out the dust, the sawdust from there, and taped around the edges everywhere that I wanted to remain the nice wood texture, and I spray painted the entirety of the inside this nice dark charcoal color. So that's basically how I constructed it. I love it. It's secured on the outside with 2 little metal clips, as well as like a button strap that holds each of like the 2 top handles together. My paintbrushes I tape up and I tape to the outside. That's the only kind of external carrying thing. I'll probably try and like mod this in the future to have some sort of external paintbrush carrying section. Some more mods that I'm interested in adding to it are little legs that swing out from like the sides to kind of prop the case up on its own to act as like an easel. Currently, I'm just leaning against a wall or a tree if I want my painting to be upright while I'm painting, but I've also just resorted to just laying it out flat, and that's totally fine too. I'll like put it on my lap and paint downwards, kind of the same way you would if you were just in a sketchbook. The way that I keep my palette in this is pretty simple. I just cut out a little bit of palette paper, but you can also use wax paper. It works like basically the exact same. The only difference is the palette paper is like gray, so you can kind of like match the tone, match the values a little bit better. But yeah, I just cut out a little square and I tape it on the opposite side of the briefcase, opposite to the painting. And I don't put a bunch of oil in my paints, just like a little bit usually. So it's not like if I fold up the briefcase and like it were to be placed flat where the palette is hanging above the painting, I don't really think that it would drip. When I stand it upright vertically, the paint has like dripped downward before and just gotten onto some of the wood, but it really hasn't been a big deal. Like, it dries up pretty fast, and also like it's an art briefcase, like there's gonna get paint places. But I would highly recommend doing this little DIY travel art kit, plein air kit. It's so helpful for me. I'm in college right now, so I can just take this with me and I'll go sit in the quad on campus and I'll paint just in nature, in the open, and it's so relaxing and I would highly recommend it. I hope that you check this out and maybe you try it for yourself because it's really cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you see me in the next part and I see you in the next part. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Simply put. I post all sorts of videos. I post art content, gaming content, just external whatever. I'm just trying to have fun here. And, you know, you guys can hang out along the way. One last thing that I almost forgot about. I stopped doing this for my stray gameplay videos, but I did have a little trend going where I would do music recommendations at the end of my videos, and I think I'll add some more here. I think maybe the like non-gameplay videos I'll add the music, and the gameplay ones, like, y'all just gonna have to, you know, figure it out on your own. But going into my Spotify right now, and your music recommendations for today: Puddles by Daniela Andrade. I'll put it up here. It's so chill music to chill and chill to and chill. Also, music for a found harmonium. I've been listening to the Napoleon Dynamite soundtrack a lot lately. It's just very school days, and with everybody coming back to college right now, it just simply makes sense. If you haven't heard it before, go listen. If you haven't seen the movie before, what are you doing? And go and watch. And as a third final song, Naked Patience by the band Happiness. The cover is an adorable little baby. And it's just like, it's definitely a fun song. A little bit whimsical. A little bit beachy. I don't know how to describe it other than that. But I'll also put all of these songs into my music recommendations playlist that I have on my channel, so check that out as well. Thank you again for watching, and I'll see you next time.